going to see who's the king of Camelback when it comes to all-time Arizona sports logos. Shane, are you ready for this? Are you a logo guy, a uniform guy?
Yeah, let's get into it.
I dug deep into the bag today. Like I racked my brain on this list. It's not just your run-of-the-mill Arizona logos. I went minor league. I went obscure leagues. I went ones that you may not remember, and even special events, right? So the whole premise is simple. We start at the bottom of Camelback. It's going to be who's on the path, right? Who's just at the base. Then who's on the trail. We're going to look at all this until you can see the summit, and then who's at the peak, right? We're going to do that. Best logo in AZ sports history, and we start at the bottom of the mountain, as always. And this is where I dug particularly deep, right? I looked at it, and I went back in time to the mid-'80s, before professional football was really in Arizona. The USFL was a spring league, decided to come to Arizona, and they had unique branding. And we inherited the Arizona Wranglers, right? And this logo was fun. It was basically a cattle brand with a W with horns on it and a wacky font that said Wranglers. And it is one of my favorite logos ever. It got hats with it on it. It is spectacular. If you're not familiar with the USFL and that team, I highly recommend you go read the book Football for a Buck by Jeff Pearlman. You will learn so many things, not only about that team, but about the fact that they traded complete rosters with the Chicago team and then turned into the Bandits by the end, or not the Bandits, the Outlaws by the end of their run. That is my first logo on the bottom of the mountain. The second, none of you, I highly doubt that any of you are going to remember this. It's older than Shane and didn't exist by the time Shane was born. It's the Arizona Sand Sharks. That is a tough name to say. The Sand Sharks were part of an indoor soccer league that played at PHX Arena. And the logo is so cool. It is a shark with sunglasses kicking a soccer ball with its tail. Now, the team name makes no sense. There are 0 sharks in Arizona, and I've never heard of any sharks living in sand. In fact, I'm pretty sure they'd drop dead if they did. But the logo has been one that anytime I've seen since I was a kid, it makes me smile. I think it is just a ridiculously genius 90s logo, and it had to make the list. The next is an event, right? An event, these logos count as Arizona sports logos. It was Super Bowl 30, and the Triple X logo with the Western flair, the Southwest flair to it. I thought this was classic, well done, a very easy logo to understand and get behind, and it said Arizona, especially in the 90s when that was a style that everybody kind of had in their house out here in the Southwest. That is one of my favorites. The Arizona Hotshots, another spring football league. The AAF, the Alliance of American Football, lasted like 7 games. They played at Sun Devil Stadium. They still have not paid Sun Devil Stadium for playing there, is my understanding, after the league went bankrupt. You see the helmet on the desk every day on the program. The Arizona Hotshots have the coolest logo.
Man, go Shots.
One of the coolest logos.
I went to one of those 7 games.
I watched them all on television. I didn't want to brave the September heat. I almost went to the opener, but the cool axes crossed, the AZ
such a great logo
in flames. I also loved the different color scheme.
Yes,
we get a lot of orange and purple and red and sand. This was yellow, green, orange. It was so different from the rest of them, and it had a tie to something that's very important in Arizona, those firefighters that fight those fires up in the mountains here in Arizona. So that is the base of the mountain there. That is the foundation upon which we build.
Not yet, right?
No, that's...
Aren't there 5?
Yeah. There is one more. It is the Suns sunburst logo, but from the 70s and 80s. That traditional look there, not the main logo, the burst that you saw on the shorts back in the day. It started that tradition of being able to read the Suns, whether it's upside down or right side up. It is a fun logo. So that is the base of the mountain. Moving into that next tier on that hiking path is the Arizona Diamondbacks original snakehead logo. When I look at this, I think of the 90s. I think of when that team launched. I think of some of my best baseball memories. It has the purple and green. It is fantastic. Next, I go back, way back to the 70s and 80s and hockey in the Valley. Before the NHL was even a dream in anybody's mind, we had the Phoenix Roadrunners of the WHL and International Hockey League. They were a staple playing at Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and they had that classic Roadrunner with the hockey stick. One of my favorites, a very clean logo. The 90s, we go back there, and this is a simple logo. They didn't overthink it. They brought in some of those 90s colors like the teal, and they simply put a snake head in the center of an R to make that R shape. It's the Rattlers R logo that was prominent in those early days when the team was dominant here in the Valley. I love that logo. Fun fact, at one point, Jerry Colangelo thought about naming the Diamondbacks the Rattlers, taking the logo and color scheme from that team and renaming the Arena Football team and having the MLB team be the Rattlers with that R. Didn't happen. We obviously got the Diamondbacks, but fun little fact on that. This next one will probably surprise people. We go to the college ranks, and I go up north. I go to NAU, and this Axe logo that they unveiled a handful of years ago, I think is one of the best. It's got the axe blade with the NAU word mark with the mountain in the A making the center. I think it's clean. I think it's simple. You think of Northern Arizona, and when it's on those matte blue helmets, it is perfection there. Moving up the next level on the mountain, baseball, minor league baseball. Phoenix Muni, where the crowds are puny, but the logo is damn good. It is the Phoenix Firebirds logo, the Firebird rising from the baseball. It is a simple logo again, hand-drawn. Back then, this was not computer-generated. It is an iconic logo that people still buy hats for out there in the day. They buy hats, and some of them, it has an orange glow to it. Obviously, the Firebirds had the blue as part of their color scheme, but I love that logo so much. It's such a clean and classic logo that I think it is just fantastic. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with it, but I love it. Sparky is next on our list. The classic Sparky. It's a good logo, right? It's not a great logo, but the story behind it.
What?
I don't think it's great. I think it's good. I think it's classic. Some people feel it's very cheesy. Some people say, "Oh, he looks like Ron Jeremy," but the story
unique.
The story behind it is what makes this logo. They hired a Disney animator to do this logo for them back in the 60s. And he actually made it look like Walt Disney. Is the story.
Is the story.
I don't know that it's 100% true, but when you look at it, you can actually see it. You can kind of see Walt Disney in it. I love that. It is much better than the Pitchfork logo. I think this is iconic, and it should be on the helmet every day that ASU football plays. Next on the list, we go back to an event again. A single event logo that has lasted the test of time. We even saw it come back as part of a City Connect uniform for the Suns last year. It's the 1995 All-Star logo. That look, the basketball that's supposed to look like a sunset, the cactus, the star, and even the secondary lizard mark that they had. This was an unbelievable look. That is why it makes it on this section. Next, and I am not pandering to the Wildcat over my shoulder or anybody in Tucson that has taken umbrage with any of my lists, but the Cactus Mountain, Arizona logo is a top 3 logo in Arizona history. Across all Arizona sports, it is beautiful. The fact that it is back on the court is fantastic. It was a travesty that it ever moved off the court. It was great on the helmets that they brought out a few years ago. It is spectacular. I love that logo, and it should be a primary logo that the Wildcats bust out all the time. Next is a mark that you think of Phoenix when you see it. It is synonymous with Phoenix. It's also synonymous with heartbreak. It is the Sunburst logo. That is unbelievable. I love it, but it also sometimes should be pointing the other direction because it's sad. I picked the wrong tier to put this in based on the color. It matches it, but the Sunburst logo is spectacular. I love this one. It is very much synonymous with Arizona and Phoenix. But at the top of this mountain, there is only one logo that could sit at the peak. And it is actually an animal that would sit at the peak of Camelback Mountain. It is the Kachina Coyote logo. You may no longer have the Phoenix Coyotes or the Arizona Coyotes in this state. We may never get them back. We may never get hockey back, but this logo will stand the test of time. People will be buying this jersey for decades to come. People hated the logo when it came out. A lot of people did. It got panned. The NHL hated it, but it made a massive comeback because of the fans loving it. I still love it. It's shaped like an A for the state. There's all sorts of little hidden things in it. It is such a great logo. You can pull it apart. You can use the moon on the chest, which they did as an alternate logo. The coyote head was used as a logo. This is the perfect logo in Arizona sports history, and that's why it is at the top of Camelback Mountain. Do you agree with the list, Shane?
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of the Suns' current logo, if I'm going to be honest. But I also think it's just fatigue.
What, like, did you?
It's just a little bland for me. Like with like how much like they use the color purple and how much they, I just feel like they picked the worst color to be their dominant color on the logo.
I almost took the 90s one that had the purple rectangle behind it. I like that.
Yeah.
But it is such an iconic logo.
I actually think the Phoenix coming out of the basketball is better than the Sunburst.
I hated the Phoenix coming out
I
of
understand
basketball.
why, but
I hated it with a passion.
as long as you have the Kachina on top, then this list is
the Kachina is the only answer.
The U of A logo, I think the U of A logo and the ASU Sparky are in the same tier, in my opinion. I think they're both too.
I can agree to disagree. I love that cactus.
I do too. I think
more than Sparky.
I think if we're gonna go 2B, it's the Sparky, and 2A is the Arizona cactus.
That is fair. That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. If you don't like my tiering, we're going to hear about it on social media, so you can join the conversation there. Or if you love it, let's hear it. You can follow us at PHNX_sports to do that. You can follow the mustache behind the Mac at Shane Deef. You can follow me at Espo. And remember, sports are fun, or at least they should be. Ahoy, hoy!